Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 4, consists of Sara Fitriani, Najma Aliya Humaira, Hana Okthavia, and myself, Tria Mulya Utami Faiziah. In this video, we would like to present our report regarding the emerging issues in EFL context based on Asia TEFL Journal, Volume 18, number 3 and 4. Our next, please. Yes. Our report divided into 3 sections. Issue number 1 related to teaching and learning methods. Issue number 2 related to teaching instructions. And issue number 3 related to English for specific purposes. Next, please. Now, I'll begin with the first issue, teaching and learning methods. Next, please. The most issues that emerge in EFL based on these two journals are issues related to teaching and learning methods. This issue is discussed in 5 different articles. The trends related to teaching and learning strategies that are discussed in these articles are mobile assisted learning, language learning, mobile assisted blended learning, team-based mobile learning, and cognitive coaching. The first one is mobile assisted language learning. In essence, mobile assisted language learning is a language learning environment that utilizes mobile devices, language education through mobile and wearable devices such as smartphones, table PCs, and apps. Now, mobile assisted language learning can promote various interactions between teachers and learners, between mobile devices and between learners and learners, and also learners can perform self-sufficiency and creativity, enhancing learning. In addition, it enables self-directed learning by respecting the individual differences of individual learners. Next. The second one is mobile assisted blended learning. The strand proposed combining two concepts as an appropriate model to overcome EFL learners' difficulties and denote the combination as mobile assisted blended learning. The potential and challenges of MABL can naturally be similar to those of MALL and blended learning. It is challenging to schedule appropriately and can be distracting and potentially be subjective to technical difficulties relating to connectivity stemming from digital literacy. However, it benefits from ubiquitous structures, can reduce students' anxiety, and has a vast amounts of content and encourages learners to be more engaging and autonomous. Next.
Okay, the next is team-based mobile learning. Team-based mobile learning has 4 components, pivotal to collaborative mobile learning. There are readiness empowerment, permanent team formation, application activity, and peer assessment. This is coherent with project-based learning in dialogic environment in that both appreciate holistic student-centric learning, which draws upon suitable authentic resources, students-led metacognitive practices, and integrated literacies. It is effective to stimulate community learning through application activity exemplified in project-based learning, as the learners acknowledge a perfect fit between their learning experience and team-based mobile learning. They develop a sense of ownership, responsibility, and control shared among team members, and also students' attributes like skills, emotions, and capacities. And they are also able to voice their ideas in democratic expressions through criticizing ideas, initiating discussion, and collaborative reflection, and constructing learning artifacts. Next. Next is 4-3-2 task. Learners tell a monologue about the same topic for 4 minutes, then 3, and finally 2. And this has 3 important features: repetition, a reduction in time, and a change of audience. These features directly affect fluency by encouraging L2 speakers to focus on the meaning under a time constraint. Repeating the same topics during the 4-3-2 task is more effective than talking on different topics for developing oral fluency and retaining the effects of fluency over 4 weeks. Next, we have cognitive coaching. Cognitive coaching has been described as a non-judgmental mediation of thinking by Costa and Cornerstone, 2002, altering observable teaching behaviors when inner and invisible cognitive behaviors are rearranged. The ultimate aim is to increase one's potential to improve abilities of self-monitoring, self-directedness, as well as those of self-modification. Within this context of cognitive coaching, a 3-stage cycles of a pre-conference as planning conversation, 2 observation, and 3 post-conference as cognitive and reflecting conversation is essential for the mentor to achieve the objective targeted through the CC. Next will be presented by Najma.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. The second issues that emerge in EFL based on these 2 journals are related to teaching instruction. This issue discussed in 3 different articles. They are about task-supported language instruction, explicit instruction, and conscious raising instruction. Next. First one is task-supported language instruction, or TSLI. Were utilized on the learner's explicit and implicit knowledge of grammar, for example, be or passive voice as the target of grammatical features, the use of morphological inflection, ed, as in regular past verb, and different forms of verbs as in irregular past verbs constitute further requirements in English passive voice. The utilization of task-supported language instruction plays a role as a mediating activity. Next. Second one is explicit and implicit instruction. According to Crescent 1981, claimed that explicit instruction presenting the learners cannot facilitate acquisition. Instead, implicit instruction together with comprehensible input and meaning-focused emphasis provide greater contribution to the second language acquisition. For Crescent, providing the learners with grammatical rules constituted a control practice during the communicative performance. According to Suzuki et al., argues that explicit instruction imposed to specific linguistic features provides initial opportunities for control practice that gradually decreases after the learners engage in the task with meaning-focused activities. Next. Okay, the next part will be presented by Hana.
The next part is consciousness raising instruction. The concept of consciousness raising refers to drawing learners' attention to the properties of the target language. It equips learners with understanding of specific language features. Consciousness raising encourages learners to experience language for themselves, help learners to create, comprehend, and reflect on language as well discourse. It assists them to explore key lexical, grammatical, and rhetorical features and to use this knowledge to construct their own examples of the genre. Consciousness raising is therefore designed to produce better writers and speakers rather than better text. The last part is English for specific purposes. There are 2 of them. The first one is English for academic purposes and English for research publication purposes. English for academic purposes has emerged out of the broader field of English for specific purposes, defined by its focus on teaching English, specifically to facilitate learner study or research through the medium of English. The second one is English for research publication, is for research publication that take place around the globe, involving, according to a recent account, 5.5 million scholars, 2,000 publishers, and 70,500 research or higher education institutions. That's all from our groups. Thank you.